So let's stand with our feet, toes together, our heels apart. A tennis ball, so you could stick a tennis ball in there. We're a little bit pigeon-toed. Our shoulders are back and down, and our chin's tucked in. And we're going to breathe. And from here, we're just going to do some of our shoulder opening. So take this long position, and then we're going to rotate in, rotate out, rotate in, rotate out. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see that my elbows and hands are, as we rotate in and rotate out. I'm then screwing my shoulders. I'm pulling my shoulders back and down, trying to get my shoulder blades closer together as I rotate out. And let's hold here, and let's fill our chest with air. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our thumbs on our hips. We're going to pull our elbows up and breathe. And we're going to trace back down. And we're going to pull up again and breathe. We're going to come all the way up to sphere tension. And then we're going to come 1 inch forward. Then we're going to come 1 more inch. Then we're going to come 1 more inch. Our rear end comes 1 more inch back. 3 inches forward, 3 inches back with our rear. Then we're going to come all the way down to the ground and hover. So we're hovering, reaching out, not touching the ground. And I'm gonna raise my right toes up and down, left, and down, right, down, left. Everyone's gonna do 5 more on their own. Stretching on the side that you're raising your toes up. And then we're gonna go ahead and come back up. Hopefully we're not too dizzy. Come back up to sphere tension. Breathing into the rib cage in all directions. Let's go ahead and bring our hands in front of us. Our left foot comes back. 80% of the weight in that left foot. And we're going to go ahead and bring our hips forward, bring our hips back, bring our hips forward, bring our hips back. 80% of the weight remains in that forward foot through the whole range of motion. If you want more challenge, bring your foot back a little bit further. If you want less, bring your foot forward. I'm going to do medium here. And let's hold. Let's raise our hands. 80% of the weight still in that left foot. And then go ahead and bring our hands in front of our chest. We're going to pull that left hip back, and we're going to rotate to the left. Then come back forward. Pull the left hip back, rotate to the left. Keeping your hips and your shoulders connected. Pull that left hip back. Come back forward. Raise the hands. Feet together. And let's bring that right foot back, left foot back. Weights in our right foot, hands come down. Counterbalancing. 80% of the weight in that right foot. Keeping that natural curve of the spine. Nice upper flat back. Eyes forward. Now we're going to go ahead and pull that right hip back. and shoulders come around, go forward, pull that right hip back, forward, pull that right hip back, and forward, raising the hands, back in front of your chest. Let's bring our hands together. Let's bring that other foot back, right foot back, and let's bring our hands up above our head. Let's get 50-50 in our feet. We're going to go ahead and spiral across, pulling to the left. And then come back forward, spiral to the left, come back forward, hands in front of us, right thumb in the left palm, trace, the hip and thumb move together, hip and thumb move together as I trace back, the hip opens up, and I trace back, 50-50 in the feet, trace back, 50-50 in the feet. Let's go ahead here and pause, pulling the shoulders apart, coming all the way, extended arm, straight arm, return, trace, extended arm, return, trace, extended arm, return, and pause. Feet come together, left foot back, 50-50 in the feet, hands overhead. Here we're going to spiral to the right, spiraling, and then come back center, spiral to the right, come back center, hands in front, left thumb in the right palm, trace, hips and thumb. That hip and thumb moves together. Hip and thumb moves together, connecting the upper body with the lower body. Tracing, come back, trace, and hold. Open up, straight arm return, trace. Let's come here and let's lead with the hip. So bring the hand, the thumb back to the other hand. Trace, up, extension, lead with the hip on the return. Trace, extension, lead with the hip. One more time. Trace, lead with the hip. Hands come up above, feet come together. And go ahead and trace back down. All right. Good job, you guys. One of the things that I thought was really great about us I'm attending virtually the International Living Futures Conference the last couple of days. And one of the things they did was to make sure we kind of get floppy a little bit, just kind of help reset yourself. So kind of head, neck, arms, hips, just kind of flop around. Maybe kind of let your head come down. That kind of helps reset yourself. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get sideways again. Make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing from the side because it's so important. So let's go ahead and make sure we have our, we're in this nice long wing position. And shoulders are back and down, chin's tucked in. And then we're going to go ahead and bend our knee. And we're going to check just to make sure we have this natural curve in the spine. Nice upper flat back. And then we're going to come back up forward. So let's go ahead and do this counterbalancing. The hips come back. The hips come forward. Hips come back. Hips come forward. Hips come back. Hips come forward, rotate the femurs in, rotate them out, rotate them in, rotate them out, rotate them in, rotate out, rotate in, rotate out. Stretch the IT band let it play up, stretch the IT band, let it play up, stretch it and hold, raise the hands, back down, and come back to a standing position. Let's keep the legs wide, half wing position, legs straight, rotating those femurs in, the rear comes back, it comes forward, rear comes back, comes forward, rotate the femurs in, rotate them out, rotate them in, rotate them out, rotate in, rotate out, stretch the IT band, let it play back up, stretch it, let it play back up, stretch, let it play back up. All right, good job. Just shake it out a little bit. Here we go. So we are going to get wide again and going to get into our forward fold, windmill, and gorilla lifts. So let's go ahead and get wide and get in this nice long wing position, bending our knees. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to raise our hands, creating tension in our back, lower back. And then we're going to go ahead and forward fold all the way down the ground, not touching the ground, reaching, hopefully allowing the glutes and hamstrings to melt. Hopefully you can just allow them to stretch, reduce tension there. Just let it melt. Here we go. Left toes up and down, right, down, left, down, right. 5 more on your own. Lengthening on that side that you're raising your toes. And then we're going to go ahead, outside edges of our feet, inside edges, outside, inside. Then we're going to come up, flatten out. We're going to get to our spot where we have a nice flat back. It could be here if we have tight hamstrings. If you can, go lower. Just find that in your spot. We're going to go ahead and put that left thumb in the right palm and trace. Pull those shoulders apart and trace back down. Trace up. Trace back down. Then we're going to come all the way to extension and trace back down. Right thumb to left palm, trace up and down. Trace up and down. Every time pulling the shoulders apart, hold all the way to extension, trace back down. Bring those heels in, drop the rear, palms up, right palm up, 1001, and down. Left palm up, 1001, and down. Right, 1001, 1002, and down. 1001, 1002, and down. 1001, 1002, 1003, and down. Left, 1001, 1002, 1003, and down. Heels come back out, hands come to the shins, long wing position, and a safe return back. All right. Good job, you guys. Good job. Do my little time check here. All right. So we're just going to do a little bit on the ground here. So just to get warmed up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get on all fours. And we're going to go ahead and do our donkey kicks. Get warmed up here. We're going to start with the right leg. And we're going to be driving that left kneecap and the right hand in the ground as we go. 1, let's do them together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And rest. Good job. So one of the keys is that when the knee and the foot are just about, they should about come back to the ground at about the same time. So that's one of the keys, and then a neutral pelvis is the other key. So go ahead, let's do 15 of these on the left side. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, good job. All right, let's get to the, have a little bit of room, and we're gonna go ahead and do our bear crawl, forward and back twice in my little small space here. So I just raise my knees just a couple inches off the ground, and I do a little bear crawl across the floor. Let's do this one more time. Got to keep your rear end down and relax. Let's see here. All right, good job. All right, so here's, for me, a challenging part of the class. Challenging the part of the class because we've never done this before. And I've only kind of taught myself to do this in the last month. So I've been working on this a month, and I'm still not that great at it. But let's do it together. Let's try to use our courage to do this together. So let's stand with our toes together, and all we're going to do is bring our, here, let me see, maybe this will be easier. I go stand forward. Let's get up on our toe on our right foot, and then we're gonna, when the right heel comes down, the left heel comes up, and then the right heel comes up, and left, and right, and left, and right. And if I'm looking from the side, it looks like the knee comes out, and right, left, and right, and left, and right. And sometimes it can be like you're doing a Stairmaster. And the key is, so let's rest. The key is to have equal balance between each foot. The foot that's flat and the foot that is on your toes is that you want to have equal balance. So think about the center of your body, and not just because your right toe's up doesn't mean all the weight's back on your left, or either the opposite. You want equal weight between the forward, the toes that are up and the ones that are down. So keep the weight distribution equal. And so what I'm aiming for is that I've noticed when I've done this is that it helps me keep balance when I'm running and walking, is to think about keeping centered and not as I walk that I have my weight go to each side as I walk. Instead, it stays centered since there's equal weight on the feet. So we're going to take that to another level here. So let's practice that again. So we have the right is up, and then the left's up, and the right's, and the left, and the right, and the left. All right. All right, so where we're going with all this is we're going to learn to moonwalk. We're going to learn to moonwalk. It's going to be nostalgic to go along with my long hair. So we're going to learn to moonwalk. And so when you moonwalk, is that one of the things you you have your foot up. And so the next step is to learn how to slide. So let's step, and then that heel goes down, and you slide it back, and the other heel comes up. And step, and slide, step, and slide, step, and slide, step, and slide, step, and slide. Hopefully you guys are getting that. So again, we're going to go step and slide, step and slide, step and slide, step and slide, step and slide. All right. So if you're like me, the first time I tried this, it was kind of hard. It's kind of hard and maybe frustrating. So if you're getting frustrated or maybe can't do it as well as you want to, don't feel bad because it takes some coordination, but it will help you walk, walk normally. So, so let's actually practice the full moonwalk. So when we actually, if you can remember the Michael Jackson days, is that he's actually going backwards. So let's bring the foot back, and then you're going to have to put equal weight on both feet, and you're going to slide. This is where foot strength, and then switch. Slide and switch, slide and switch, slide and switch. So I'm going to do that backwards. So it looks like, let's do it together. So slide and switch, slide and switch, slide, switch, slide, switch, slide, switch, slide, switch. All right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on that, but just want to you guys to keep that in mind as we're doing some of our other work. For example, let's start at the end and just walk across the room. And what I want you to think about is just keeping your weight centered and not moving it from right to left, from laterally. Everything is just going centered as I walk across the room. And that there isn't any side-to-side motion. All the motion is going forward. And we've talked about before is that the weight that you want to have your feet relaxed, and you do, but you also want to keep things centered. All right? So enough of that. We're going to end this with a little bit of some prone decompressions and anchored extensions. So let's go ahead and get back on the ground here. And I'm going to do a prone decompression. So I'm going to, here is where we're in a prone decompression. We're going to be reaching out, and I'm going to have my feet together. My face is down. I'm going to raise my face off the ground. I'm stretching the back side of my body, tensioning up the front side of my body, and I'm reaching a little bit more with my feet and breathing. And I've got my feet dorsiflexed. I'm stretching the back side of my body, and we're going to go ahead and relax. We're going to alternate that with the anchored extensions. So let's go ahead and again, let's bring our face off the ground. Let's bring our feet off the ground. And then let's slowly raise our hands and elbows off the ground, looking forward, looking down at the ground, I'm sorry. Pulling our elbows back and down. We're stretching the front side of our body, using our back muscles, pulling our shoulder blades together, putting our elbows down toward our heels, and relax. So we're going to go ahead and go back to prone decompression. So let's go ahead and raise our face off the ground, reach with our hands, fill our rib cages together. Breathe into the back of your ribs. So let's breathe. And then go ahead and relax. So here we go. We're going to, again, anchor back to anchored extension. Our face is off the ground. Feet come off the ground. Hands come off the ground. Pulling our hands off the ground. Pulling our shoulder blades together. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our hands forward. Palms up. Pinkies together. Just come back to this half wing position. Do it one more time. Palms up, pinkies together. Half wing and relax. Good job. Back to pro decompression. Here we go. We're reaching. And we have our feet dorsiflex, stretching the backside of our body, raising our face off the ground, keeping our chin nice and tucked in. Let's reach one more inch forward with our fingers. Try to just claw your way forward, whereas your heels are going the opposite direction. Breathing, elongating, and relax. Here we go. Last anchored extension. Let's bring our face off the ground, hands off the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and put our hands, our thumbs to our hips. Our feet are off the ground. We're tracing all the way to spirit tension. Trace back down. Let's trace one more time. Trace up, all the way to spirit tension. Trace back down. Back to anchored hand, short wing, and relax. All right. Okay, so before I have one more prop here. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you now is really quickly just talk about, sometimes we talk about how we're not quite balanced in our bodies. That are my rib cage, my hip may kind of flex out here, my ribs may come to the right side. And for me, I always get this pain in my right SI joint. But I've been able to reduce that by trying to align things up. So you may have the similar issue. So take notice of your own body. What side, what things become, you may have a pain on that one side. That's because of this asymmetry that we develop in our bodies. Another way to figure out where you have asymmetries is when you're sitting in the car, sitting in a chair like this. How does your back touch the back of the chair? Is it equal? And what I've noticed is a lot of times it's not equal. Then this, my left side's always touching it, have more pressure on the left side of my back rather than on the right side. So I just have to adjust my back a little bit, move my hips around, and try to even myself. So self-awareness is a big thing, part of what we're always striving for. So let's head back into the later part. Getting a little warm here. Some of the fun part of and rather than marching across the room, we're going to try something different here. So we're going to try to start with, we're just going to bring our toes out, and we're just going to do our touching using a nice flat back, just coming down with our toes out. And then we're just going to bring our toes in. And after each one, we're just going to march with our feet. And then toes out, march with our feet. Toes in, march with our feet. And just remember to keep your back flat each time you come down. We can do a little bit longer sets this way since we don't have to worry about running out of room at the end. Okay, let's go transition to toe flickers. So let's get this nice 90-degree elbows. The feet should be going straight back and forth, no circles, not be doing circles with the feet. So toe flickers, you may have to angle your hips a little bit different to make sure you land, you don't scuff your feet. 5 more seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. All right, good job, you guys. So here we go. We're going to do a little bit more marching in place. So let's go to knee grabs, and we're going to come back, get up, just stay nice and centered, and then take those 3 marches. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Last one. All right. Next one, here we go. We're going to go our butt kickers. So let's go ahead and just bring that heel behind us. 1, 2, 3. Raise our arm if we can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's good. All right. Hope you guys are enjoying these. Here we go. So we're going to do now is we're going to bend down toward the ground. So this is a little bit like what we do with a ball, but it's without a ball. So here we go. We're just going to get the knee and opposite arm up, and then this arm and this hand are going to go back, and the hand's going to come down, and then we're going to come up. 1, 2, 3, and then that arm and this leg are going back, and we're reaching, and we're going to come 2, 3, and down. 1, 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 2, 3, and down. Last one. 1, 2, 3, and down. And relax. Just a little time check here. Excellent. All right. So some of what we weren't able to do in that is to do some more lateral work, and I think lateral work is really important. So let's try to find a little bit of runway, and we're going to go back and forth twice on this. So let's do our tick-tocks, hands on our hips, And we're going to tick-tock our way across the room. And then back. And then back. Back. All right, good job. We're going to go with our over the hurdle, under the hurdle. So we're going over the hurdle, then we're coming underneath the hurdle, over the hurdle, and under. Go back the other way. Let's go back one more time, since we have a short distance. All right, good job. Here we go. Our last lateral work is our hips are together, our hands are hips, feet are pretty wide. We're going to lean to the right, lean to the left, and hop. Then we're going to go back the other way, hopping. All right, good job. Okay, and now we're just going to do our challenge with the arms. A little bit of what we did before already. We're going to do it with our arms, this time with our imaginary ball, going over the top of the leg, coming up, and we're going to take a step, we're going to go down, and then come back up, over the leg, back up, down, up, over the leg, and down. And then make our way back over. And down. All right. All right, we have enough time. Here we go. Last one of the day. We're going to do a little grave digger. So we're going to take our ball. We're going to step forward, straighten that leg, push down and dig that grave, dig a hole, come back up. Step forward, dig down. Front leg is pretty straight. Just a micro bend in it, trying to get a nice stretch and balance. Turn around, dig, up, dig, up, dig, up. One more time, dig, up. All right. So come back to our final positions here. You guys are doing an awesome job. Got our toes together. Tennis ball width between the heels. Rotating those femurs in. Let's do a little check here. Let's put our hands on our ribs. Make sure you can feel your ribs moving, especially on the back. Expanding. It should be expanding evenly too. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and expand those ribs. Breathing. Come up. Trace back down. All the way to sphere tension. One inch forward. 1 inch back. And trace back down. And relax. Good job, you guys. My name is Mark. This is Foundation Training.